How's it going, guys? Do you guys have any UFC hot takes? If you do, let me know and we will talk about them. And I will also be dropping my UFC hot takes as well. So you won't be alone in all of this. Is that better? No. I have my phone propped up at different angles, so the camera's on this side and not this side like it normally is. So now just throwing everything off because it looks different. It's whatever, though. It is whatever. What's up, bro? Hey, man, how's it going? Do you have any UFC hot takes? We're here to talk about UFC hot takes. So if you have some, drop it in the chat. We'll talk about it. And then I might drop my UFC hot take as well. I'm also down to talk about whatever. Doesn't even have to be UFC related. What I can talk about is a vast, vast ocean of topics. But if you got a UFC hot take, drop it down below. I like talking about hot takes because sometimes hot takes are just true. And a lot of people can say they're a hot take, but got any hot takes? Trying to think of one right now. It's not really a hot take, but I see a lot of people saying that Dustin Poirier's interim champion belt should just count as like a real one because of the circumstances that took place when he got it. But I don't know. I feel like that's like a they're pitying him. They're just giving him a pity. You know what I mean? Like, oh, hey, no, you got a belt. You got a belt. I like Dustin, but I don't think you can say, oh, his interim belt was practically just the real belt because of who he beat and what happened during that time. What do you think the UFC 220? What do you think the UFC 222 card will look like? I don't know. Dana White's announcing something today, right? He's going live and he's going to announce something big. 222. It's probably going to be, I think it's going to be JDM versus Makachev. Because I think that's been rumored to be happening in November for like quite some time now. And then I don't know, they have so many title fights that are dropping at the end of the year. They have Islam, JDM, Pantoja, Joshua Van. They could do a Joshua Van Pantoja, and then they could also do like Zhang Wei Li versus Shevchenko, Valentina Shevchenko. Because that's rumored. That's like that's about the biggest women's fight you can make. None of them are really that big, but like it's pretty much the biggest one you could make. So that'd be good to be like the third fight on the card. Then you got Pantoja and then Islam. And then they have Volk versus Murphy. I swear there's one more. Oh, Ilya. Whatever they do with Ilya. Also, I noticed someone new dropped into the stream. If you have any UFC hot takes, drop them down below. Right now, we're talking with the UFC 222 card and what it's going to be. I don't think we're going to see Ilia Topuria fight at the end of the year, which sucks, but it's also not really his fault because every single contender at lightweight right now is being a little bitch. Except for Oliveira. He's fighting Rafael Fiziev in October. Any other day, I'd be like, Oliveira is going to smoke Fiziev. But let's just say it's interesting now since Oliveira just got flatlined by Ilya a couple like 1 month ago, pretty much. So can a hurt Oliveira beat Fiziev? I still think he'll probably be able to, and I hope he does, because if he gets knocked out, that'd be so sad. Top Toro said he won't be fighting in 2025. I saw that as well. There were rumors that he was fighting Justin Gaethje, but I feel like Justin Gaethje would destroy him. Who do you think would win between Ilia Topuria and Islam Makhachev? Who do you think wins that one? Did you guys know Yuri Prohaska has 31 wins? I didn't know he had that many wins, or even that many fights. I know he's been around for a while, but 31 and 5, that's like Pantoja and Oliveira numbers. Oliveira's 35-11, and Pantoja's like 35-5. Pantoja has a super underrated record. 35 wins, 5 losses. That's insane. If Islam cannot escape the combos, it could end badly. But I don't think it will give anything away. I think I want to see that fight, but I also don't want to see Islam win the welterweight belt and then be like, okay, Ilya, come up another 15 pounds to fight me. Because Islam is so much more built for welterweight than Ilya would be. So it would be like a bitch move, kind of. So I think they should just fight at lightweight. And for that to happen, I think JDM needs to beat Islam. Which I think JDM... I think JDM is beating Islam Makhachev. Because Dustin Poirier, I kind of watched Dustin was beating Islam, or wasn't beating, but he was giving Islam some troubles. And JDM is practically a version of Dustin Poirier that has better takedown defense. Or maybe not better takedown defense, but he has better scrambles. And he's a better defensive grappler than Dustin is. He's got more power than Dustin. He's got better combos than Dustin. He's in his prime. He's bigger. He's faster. I just think JDM's going to potentially knock out Islam. If Islam wins, it feels like he'll dominate the welterweight division. JDM is an incredible boxer. If if Islam Makhachev just takes down JDM and like holds him down and he can't get back up, and Islam like submits him in like the second or third round, I really don't see anyone. If Islam can beat JDM, I don't see anyone that would be able to cause Islam a whole bunch of trouble. Maybe Sean Brady, but even then, I feel like Islam. I don't know. I have to see how big he is in welterweight. That's gonna be a fun fight. I'm excited for that one. What else is there? Rhino de Ritter versus Anthony Hernandez. Who do you think's gonna win that one? I feel like Rhino de Ritter is gonna win. I don't think Anthony Hernandez is as good as a lot of people think he is. Yes, I'd like to see if Walter White's body is in shape too. Yeah, because I don't know. I don't want to see any fat on him. You think Hernandez is gonna win? I think Rhino de Ritter is gonna win. I think Hernandez is a little overhyped. People are like, he dominated Roman Dolidze. Okay, but Roman Dolidze is also a 40-year-old man who looked insanely slow in that fight, and he looked terrible in that fight, and he gassed out immediately. I think Rhino de Ritter is going to win that one. And then we're going to see Rhino de Ritter versus Hamzat. Or we'll even see Rhino de Ritter versus Dricus. Or then whoever wins that fights Hamzat. I think that'd be good. Because then it gives Hamzat time to fight the winner of Barajo and Imanov. And then he can have a boring performance against those guys. And then Dricus fights Rhino de Ritter if he wins, or Hernandez. And then winner gets a title shot. Or RDR unanimous decision. Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to see that fight. Dricus Bilal. I don't know. Who do you think wins between Bilal and Dricus? Because I don't know why Bilal is starting beef between them. I don't even know who started it, but I'm just going to assume it was Bilal. I think Dricus would smoke Bilal, especially at 185. Bilal Muhammad is not going to do very well up there. Dricus is destroying him. Both of them can win by accident. A double head kick knockout. And they both get flatlined. And then they both fight Hamza. It's a 2v1. And they destroy him. And then they share the belt. And then RDR takes his mask off and it's two Dricus Duplessis. And it was a long run the entire time. And he tricked everyone. If Dricus Hamza leaves, he'll win the belt again. Yeah, I do think Dricus is the second best middleweight. Use the division. I think Dricus could beat Hamzat. I think the problem was that he just didn't make Hamzat work at all in that fight. So Hamzat was able to just kind of lay there. When in reality, he should have been like scrambling, going for legs, just doing something, making Hamzat work. But he didn't. Or just attempt to stuff the takedowns. Because every single takedown Hamzat shot on him, Dricus kind of like just jumped the guillotine, kind of. At least the first one, he kind of did it. But then he just didn't do anything. Yeah, he was in a crucifix the entire fight, but I feel like Dricus could have done some more stuff. But also Hamza wasn't doing anything either. It was just a pretty big letdown for what was supposed to be one of the craziest fights of the year. That fight was so hyped up. But it is what it is. We still have the end of the year has insane cards. Like we're eating as UFC fans. We've got some stuff. Did Dana White say Do we know when Dana White's going live? Diego Lopez a year. That'd be a crazy good fight. I also think a very underrated fight, and it's kind of getting overshadowed just because of how much better, or not even better. There's so many crazy fights happening at the very end of the year that this fight is just kind of getting overshadowed, even though it's an insane fight. Diego Lopez versus Gene Silva. I hope Diego Lopez wins, because that'd be cool. Because I like Diego Lopez, and I don't like Gene Silva that much. But I hope Diego Lopez wins, because he's like a featherweight Charles Oliveira. How can you not like that guy? And him versus Yair, I think Diego Lopez would win. I think if he shot some takedowns, like in the first round, got Yair thinking about it, because Lopez is really good on the ground. He just has to block the kicks from Yair, which I think he probably can. And then I could see Yair going for like a head kick or something, and then Lopez blitzing in, and then Yair just left open on one foot. I like Lopez though. I want to see him move up like later in his career, like in maybe 2 years or something, 2 or 3 years. I want to see him move up to lightweight. I think that'd be pretty cool. I think his gas tank could be a little bit better. It could get worse, but it might actually be a bit better. And he'd be more powerful probably. I just think he should move up to... It'd just be cool to have him up at lightweight, you know? A fight between him and Ilya would be insane. I think Ilya would probably win, but I still think Diego Lopez, that would just be a crazy fight. I wish we got to see that fight before Ilya moved up to lightweight. Lopez's boxing is very fluid and more solid, especially in the BJJ. Yes, Diego Lopez is sick. He just has a dumb haircut. That's the only bad thing about him. He has a dumb haircut. And he's also super active as well. Or not super active, but he's more active than usual. Than the average fighter. Who do you think is going to win between Barajo and Imanov? I feel like Imanov is going to win, but Barajo has a pretty good record. Barajo has 17-1, and Imanov has 16-4. So he's got more losses and less wins. But do we think Barajo knocks out Izzy? That's the question. I just don't know how good either of these guys are. I really have no idea on how good either of them are. I know they're good. Like, Barajo beat Cannonier. Yeah, Cannonier's still good, but it is Cannonier. Imanov just knocked out Izzy, but it was a washed Izzy. There's kind of asterisks behind each of their best wins. Barajo's tank can win this match with incredible determination. It was a long and tough battle. He might win. I can see him winning. Barajo. Imanov is younger than Barajo. I feel like that should be the other way around, but I guess it's true. Barajo. Chaho Barajo, the leader of the fighting nerds. Fighting nerds, I'll tell you, man. I like the fighting nerds, but I feel like there's something about each fighting nerd that kind of makes them lame. Like they each have something that kind of makes you go, aw, that sucks. Braho is a massive liar, lies about everything. Protez just smokes and drinks all day pretty much. And he thinks it's cool. So it's kind of cringe. And he is just kind of cringe in general as well. Ruffy. I don't know much about Ruffy. So there's nothing on him, I guess. And Gene Silva. He barks and he's crazy. And he's kind of annoying too. But overall, I think they're a good team. They're all Brazilians. They're all sick. They're all awesome. They actually fight. Marsha D. Huffy. Yes. This Paris card kind of sucks. Or it does, I guess it actually doesn't suck. Oh, Pitbull's fighting on this card? It's still not very good. The only good fights are like the two last ones. Saint Denis versus Rufy. And then Imanov versus Braho. What other fights are on this card? Nothing too special. Nothing too special on this. The Mexico card. Nothing too special. The cards themselves aren't super special, but the main events and co-main events are usually pretty good. Carlos Olberg versus Dominic Reyes. Kind of bad. But Dominic Reyes is pretty cool, so I guess it's good, I guess. Then the pay-per-views, those are what have super good cards. The 320 pay-per-view is a beautiful card. Absolutely beautiful. I think they're still adding more fights. They still got a couple more fights they gotta add. Hopefully. Even the Brazil card. The Brazil card is more stacked than some of the pay-per-view. Actually, no, it's not. But the Brazil card's pretty stacked. Oliveira Fiziev, Figgy, Montel Jackson, Vince Leluque. I'm excited for the Brazil card. Starts at 1 p.m. I can make it. I can make it. It would be great if Dominic Reyes wins or moves up to the title fight. Yes. It would be cool. But I still think if he beats Olberg, he still has one more win. He has one more win between or one more win away from getting a title shot. What do you think about the drama between Rampage and the MMA Guru? MMA Guru is a little unhinged, but at the same time, he's calling out BS. So it's not even that bad. But I think Rampage is in the wrong. What do you think? Do you think Rampage is in the right? I don't like the MMA Guru. Why don't you like the MMA Guru? I like the MMA Guru. But I do see how people don't like him. But I think Rampage is just wrong. Guru is right. His son did try to kill someone. And Rampage is off talking about MMA Guru while bowling with like prostitutes on kick. There's more important things you gotta be doing. I didn't hear of the controversy. Pretty much between the two. pretty much Guru made a video on Rampage Jackson's son saying stuff like, what was it? He kept saying something over and over again. He said, like, stupid animal that belongs in a cage or something. And then he got super mad at it. And then Rampage said that MMA Guru's being racist. When MMA Guru really didn't say anything that racist. He just said dumb animal. And then it was Rampage that pieced it together. But Rampage just has more important stuff to be doing right now. I don't like either of them. Rampage can't cover up this terrible accident. Rampage is kind of doing harm to his reputation right now. It also annoyed me. Like, his reaction to the clip annoyed me so much. Because he's watching it and Sneeko is, like, beside him. And he's watching it and he's like, oh, he might get banned off kick. Yo, do you think he's gonna get banned off kick? Like, you're watching your son literally almost kill a guy. And your first thought is, he's gonna get banned off Twitch or kick. He's gonna get banned off kick. Like, that's the first thing that comes to your mind. It's a sticky situation, but like, your son almost killed a guy. How about you show some sign, like he doesn't even seem mad about it at all. To be honest, he's probably on his son's side. He's like, he shouldn't have hit you with that fake bottle. But I like Rampage, but I just think he's kind of being stupid in this. But what do you guys think? You don't like either of them. Rampage can't cover up this terrible accident. Alright, but you don't like either of them? But who do you think is in the right in the situation? Even though you don't like either of them, who do you think is in the right? He probably thought he would suffer damage because he broadcast quietly a lot on kick and gave a fake reaction. Yeah. It's like Rampage. Kick ain't everything. Kick is not everything. Plus, who even uses Kick? That used to be a website that no one used, like back in the day. And now it's just massive and everyone streams on it. I hate Kick. I barely went on it, but I don't like it. Also, I don't know how to say your name. The only other guy typing in chat right now, I've seen you in the chat before. The guy that just said Walker stunned us. Why don't you like the MMA Guru? I know there are reasons to not like him, but I just want to know your reasoning. Walker stunned us. He did stun us. I thought we were gonna see. I woke up at 4 in the morning, I think, just to see a first round knockout. I like Johnny Walker, but like, I'm not gonna miss out on a flatline KO. And then he won. Johnny Walker has a glass chin. He has a glass chin, but Zhang, or whatever his name is, has glass legs. That's what we learned. He rage baits a lot. He does rage bait a bit. But I don't know. Once you watch him a bit more, you kind of learn when he's rage baiting. So it's kind of like, I don't know. Yeah, he does though. Wait, what is he even rage bait about though? I just thought about it. When I first saw Walker, I thought this guy was incredibly athletic and could compete for the title in no time. The first time I watched the UFC. Yeah, go back to, if you watch videos on his prime, then it's like, damn, this guy is pretty good. Like, he was landing some pretty good highlight KOs. And he was unpredictable. And then his chin is just not there. He got smacked once and he went out. Although, do you know if you sound like you've been watching him for a while. Was his chin always terrible? Or did he get knocked out super bad one time? Or did he just get knocked out over and over again? I think that just made his chin terrible. The elbow he threw at Khalil was unbelievable. That's a pretty cool knockout. He just kind of had Khalil's head. And boom. I think Khalil fell over. Who would have thought Khalil would get knocked out? That fight probably does end differently if they fought again. But who do you think wins between... Who do you guys think wins between Yuri and Khalil Roundtree? I hope Yuri wins, but I am scared he could get knocked out. Because if he does his little head thing, where his head's right in front of you, Khalil has some power. Khalil doesn't have insane power, but he has power. Yuri, I think Yuri's gonna win. And I really hope he does. I wish it was a 5-rounder, man. I wish they would just make the cool fights 5 rounds. Just make the cool fights 5 rounds. Armin Struki and Oliveira, make that 5 rounds. Roy Val versus Joshua Van, make that 5 rounds. Just make sick fights that are are going to be awesome. Go 5 rounds. Or just if it's like a title eliminator fight, just make it go 5 rounds. Because they're going to have to go 5 rounds either way. I want Yuri to become champion again. It would be great if he knocked out Ankalaev. If Alex Pereira does not beat Ankalaev at a UFC 320, then I would want Yuri to become champion. That'd be pretty cool if Yuri became champion again. But I don't know. I just like Alex more. So if Alex is in the picture, I want him to be the champion. But if he's not, then I want Yuri to be the champion. And Alex, win or lose, win or lose, if you still want to fight, move up to heavyweight. Those guys are so trash up at heavyweight. They're all terrible, except for Tom Aspinall. But even Tom Aspinall, he's fighting trash cans because they're all terrible up there. So I think Alex Pereira would do very well up at heavyweight. I think Tom Aspinall would cause some trouble, but I do think Pereira's chances up at heavyweight fighting... Pereira's chances of beating Tom Aspinall are very underrated, in my opinion. If Yuri catches Khalil, he'll most likely drop him like Jamal. Probably. I think Jamal Hill probably has a... I don't know. I think Roundtree will probably get knocked out, though. I think Yuri would win. Alex doesn't seem to care as much to me. It does feel like that hunger is kind of gone. I miss the 2024 era where he fought like every 3 months. And they were all awesome fights. And he was just a badass in all of them. What good times. And now we have Ankalaev as champion. Yay! We have Ankalaev as champion. Some guy who's just going to hold you up against the cage if he wants to win. He was beating Alex Pereira in the stand-up, though. But he did hold him up against the cage in the 4th round. And did absolutely nothing other than that. Damn, I hope Alex wins. Alex has to win. Alex Pereira has to win. He will. He will, right, guys? He won't get dominated. He won't get knocked out. The heavyweight is in very bad shape right now. Alex could improve that weight class. True. And they're all terrible. They're all terrible. Alex Pereira, move up to heavyweight. He might be more powerful. He's going to be faster than them. Almeida might be some trouble because he's a heavy grappler. But just don't fight him. There's other people you can fight who aren't Almeida. And the UFC probably wouldn't even make that fight anyways. Tom Aspinall is the only heavyweight that would give Alex trouble. And I think Alex Pereira has underrated chances against Tom Aspinall. You think JDM has a chance of beating the greatest? I do. I think JDM is super underrated. And I think he's going to beat Islam Makhachev. He just fought Bilal Muhammad, which is already a pretty good training camp for Islam. Bilal is not as good as Islam. But I've said this before, and it's a perfect comparison. And it's a perfect, I just think JDM's going to win. If he's the underdog, I'm betting on JDM. But Islam Makhachev, right? He had trouble with Dustin Poirier. He was still good, but Dustin was he struggled with an out of his prime Dustin Poirier. JDM is practically a better version of Dustin Poirier. He has more power. He's in his prime. He's an extremely good defensive wrestler. He's faster. He's bigger. He's a better version of Dustin Poirier. Yes, Islam is going to be bigger as well. But I think JDM is probably going to... I don't know. How tall are these guys? I think Islam is going to sacrifice cardio if he's bulking up to 170. He could have a lot less cardio. I have to go. Good luck, buddy. See you, MMA Maniac. I'll talk to you later. I think Islam is going to sacrifice cardio if he's bulking up to 170. He could as well. Because he's a big lightweight. But he's almost to the point where, how much bigger can he really get? Can he look like a welterweight? Can he look like one? I'm going to look up his height. And then look up JDM's height. Islam Makhachev height. In feet. Islam Makhachev is 5'10". And now let's look at... But they also lie about their height, so who knows. JDM height and feet. 6'2". Oh. It gave me the actor Jeffrey Dean Morgan, not Jack Della Maddalena. 1 second. JDM's only 5'11", so it's not a super big height difference. Not as big as I thought it was going to be. And he's a champion. He's going to be getting better. He's going to be better than the last time we saw him. I just think JDM is he's super underrated. And a lot of people say, Bilal let him win. Bilal didn't let him win, man. Bilal shot takedowns. JDM stuffed them. JDM just didn't crumple like a little bitch, like Leon Edwards did. So it just didn't work against him. But I don't know, man. People will talk. People will say stuff. Anyways, I think I'm gonna go today, or go right now. It's not a super long live stream. Might be my shortest one, but I got stuff to do. Closing statements, closing questions, closing anything. I will give you 30 seconds to type them down in the chat and I'll answer them. But in 30 seconds starting now, I am gone. Later. In 30 seconds, I'm out of here. But it was nice seeing you, Jimmy. I've seen your name in this, I think the first time I streamed, you were there. But I've never seen you again. Where you been, man? I'm kidding. It was good talking to you. I feel like you have some good MMA takes. You know ball. You got some good knowledge. Oh, these dumbasses out here. I'm just kidding. Okay, I'm out of here. I will talk to you guys later. See ya.